Good morning, good day, good evening, wherever you are in the world. I want to talk about how to grow intuition. So, intuition is something we all have, but we all need to build and to strengthen. And some of us might be more drawn to it, or maybe more talented at growing it, right? That has a lot to do with the connection to your body and trusting your body. You know, like a dog is very, or like pretty much every animal is very connected to their body, because there's less mind chatter or less, like as humans we carry our head around like it's the most important part of our body, and we a lot of times are a lot in our head about what we need to do, what other people thinking of us, we are thinking what other people are, and like all these things that are seemingly so important. But when we have a body and we are aware of this body and we strengthen our body language by using our body for running or exercising or yoga or dancing, meditation, we feel into our body and how am I feeling today? And like you can grow your intuition by connecting to your body and your breath as often as possible. So for example, she has a pretty dress. She has a pretty skirt actually. So when you're waiting in line for something, it's always a good practice to connect to your breath, connect to your breathing, like breathe through your nose, inhale and exhale through your mouth, and do like small meditation or breathing techniques. There's lots out there you can do, just being present and focusing on your body really is strengthening your intuition. And then you can practice that with everything, like with every question you're asking yourself, like, is this good for me? Is that the right path? Is this person good for me? Is this food good for me? Is this exercise good for me? And then you just trust it. And you can ask yourself questions, like I said, like, is this good for me? Is this person good for me? Is this environment good for me? Is this, or how does it, because good is difficult for people to understand, and because a lot of times we learn a lot of things that we have to unlearn later on in life and toss out. Actually, with a lot of things we learn, lots of mindsets, lots of ways of thinking, ways of dealing with our own body, like we learn that our body is our enemy quite often. You don't learn and you don't grow intuition when you think your body is shitty, you're too fat, you're too chubby, your belly is too big, I don't know, whatever. Your boobs are too small or too big, or your feet are too wide and too long and too big, and your legs are too short, and whatever kind of ways we have to think of our body really is not really helping us to grow intuition, because we basically toss aside or reject the most important tool we have for growing intuition and for knowing what's good for us. Like I talked about that before, sometimes when we feel anxious and we think, Like when we're really young, we think it's butterflies and we are in love with somebody, but actually it's anxiety telling us this person making us nervous is not a good sign. And there's so much more we can listen to, like, for example, oh, the city is actually too loud for my ears. Oh, I don't like the smell. You know, like things like that. When you trust your body, like a dog is trusting their body and their instinct, they're really, like, most animals are connected to their body, and that's why they know, you know, someone's energy isn't good, or someone's, I don't know, someone's smell. They don't like the smell. You know, if you really like someone, you like their smell as well. And that's something hormonal as well. So your hormones are really into someone. And that's biological as well. And it also is connected to your intuition. So yeah, growing intuition has a lot to do with trusting yourself about things, you know, and become your own guide, become your own knower, become your own wise person, become your own guru, really. Because we like to follow this and that and that and that, and church and here and religion and gurus and whatever, and rules. And that makes sense a lot of times to learn orientation, to learn, okay, you know, like, I'm vegan now, and then it's like, it's very strict, and we are not really good with no rules, because we think we need rules, but actually we just need intuition. We think we need rules, we need to be vegan and like really strict about it, and that's fine. Or like anything, vegetarian, vegan, but it's also, people are really black and white a lot of times, and when you just say like, no, I'm not vegan, but like, I started to have my oat milk instead of milk, and I enjoy it, and it's good, and it's easy. Or I started to walk to the grocery store instead of using my car. I started to use my bike more. I started a compost back in my garden. You know, like all these small steps that are really, really serving and really, really good for us. Like change doesn't happen overnight, like yourself and growth and whatever. And we think we have to do those things like really fast and really quickly, and we have to do it overnight, otherwise it's not fun. You know, like those people who, when you say like, oh, I started to drink oat milk, yeah, but you still wear wear your leather shoes or your leather jacket or your leather bag. Just acknowledge my growth, right? So we're growing, and that's not happening overnight or like in 1 week. You know, when you've been smoking a lot and then you want to quit, it's difficult to go cold turkey. You can do it, and some people are better with that. But growth is so much more like precious when we understand like the development and the change and the growth and the transformation. And that doesn't happen overnight quite often. You know, and then all of a sudden, oh, I don't like butter, I prefer the vegan spread. Or, you know, not that vegan is the way to go, but like, just as an example for change and transformation, that things don't have to be that strict all the time, and like you're following what your resonance, and do it like on every corner. You follow your resonance. You can try to like go for a walk, and then on every corner or on every crossroad you ask your intuition where to go, and maybe see what happens. Maybe you meet a special person, or you see a deer, or I don't know, these kinds of things. Like, keep asking questions and keep listening then, and then follow that as well. If you reject it, your intuition will weaken. If you listen to it, your intuition will grow, because your intuition is basically not just yourself, but it's your guidance system, your guides, your angels, God. And when you listen, they will be like, oh yeah, she's listening, so we keep supporting her. If you are like, no, I'm not listening, I do whatever, and I heard you, but I'm not following that resonance, and I'm doing something else, then your guides are like, well, she's not listening, what am I supposed to do? I told her, don't go there. I told her, don't open that door. I told her, don't drive down that road. I told her, don't move into that environment. I told her. And yeah. So ask questions. Is this serving me? How does it feel? And then always, and listening. Intuition is just listening to your gut, your instinct, God, Holy Spirit, whatever. Okay.